Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the TTV Newscast for the February 6th, 2013. I'm Mesonak,
I'm Keeney.
And I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
and today we've got a not-so-interesting plethora of news to talk about, and by plethora, I mean two things. So without further ado, here they are. In the news for today's episode, we have LEGO Pick-a-Brick selection updated, and Halo Trilogy to be released on Steam? So we've got one not so interesting, but at the same time slightly interesting if you know stuff about parts, and then a very interesting piece of news that I'm sure, you know, people will care about. So we'll start off at the top. LEGO Pick-a-Brick. It is basically LEGO's variation of Bricklink, for those that don't know what it is, and you can find, you can buy individual pieces for most themes. The prices are actually very reasonable. The shipping prices are not, which is why people tend to stray away from that in favor of Bricklink, which tends to have a better selection and is updated more. But they recently updated it with parts from, a variety of themes. Obviously, what I'll be talking about, Hero Factory, a bunch of the new parts, a bunch of slightly older but still relatively current pieces. But the real interesting thing is, for the first time ever, they released pieces that aren't available elsewhere exclusively on Pick-a-Brick, by which I mean, if you know anything about the Hero Factory breakout sets, you'd know that torsos had printing on them, and they were specific to each character, and it wasn't like a sticker, it's printed on. Well, Pick-a-Brick has put up unprinted versions of these chest plates, and it's not all of them, but it is like a good 3-4 of them, and it's some of the more sought after colors like the trans blue color that was used in Golly's mask way back from Bionicle, the cow. And this is the first time they've ever done something like this. And people are wondering, is this going to become the norm? Are they going to start releasing unprinted variants of a bunch of printed parts on Pick-a-Brick people can get that they wouldn't be able to get elsewhere? And this is actually, surprisingly enough, currently one of the big discussion topics going on, because it's come just like directly after the Nuremberg Toy Fair, where they showed off the Chima figures, which had a bunch of obnoxious, asymmetrical, ugly chest printing, ruining some otherwise cool recolors. So now people are wondering, is this going to be an option in the future for stuff like that? What are your guys' thoughts on this?
You want to go first, Keeney? Well, I guess I'll take it. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely for those people who want to build custom sets.
Like me.
Yes.
If I
like
could ever get around to ordering like an order, I'd be all over this.
It would help. It would definitely help, since they have unprinted parts. It kinda reminds me of of that time when, with the Bionicle pieces, that you could like claim that they were lost or whatever and get a new one.
You could still do that, It's just a lot harder. But I remember people used to do that with the Krakan, the gold Krakan,
Yes.
I'd be
yeah, I lost this gold Krakan I never had. Can I get it for free?
Yeah, I remember that. Keeney, what do you think?
So yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, so literally the moment I asked him that, he dropped out of the call. So there's that. So LJ, you were ours. You were here to salvage the pieces left by Keeney being dropped. What do you think? We're still in mid-recording. What do you think of Pick-a-Brick offering unprinted variations of the Hero Factory breakout torsos for the first time in history, and what this could possibly mean for the future of Pick-a-Brick, especially in light of Chima's recent asymmetrical, ugly, set-ruining, printed torso piece thing, monstrosity, object?
Don't drag it. Don't drag. Now, I think that's a really good idea. I think whoever thought that up needs a pay raise, because that is a brilliant idea. That allows them to get rid of any parts, any unnecessary cost to print the parts, and gives MOCS a lot more mobility.
That is true. So win-win. I didn't even think about that aspect.
They did a really good job deciding to do that.
Especially since Stringer's torso is one of them. If you want more dark blue, well,
OMG!
they're making a lot of pieces in that color this summer, but still, that's a thing. I just wish it was
Yeah.
all torsos rather than just a couple. But you know,
Yeah, I know a certain YouTuber, everyone knows him by the name of Lego Jang, who's gonna be buying that up by the bucket load.
hopefully he knows. If not, it's the mantle of responsibility falls on me and me alone to ask him.
Or BZ Power.
Shut up.
I doubt he looks at BZ Power.
Yeah, he's fortunate.
Wow.
Not plagued like we are.
He doesn't have BZ cancer.
I'm not gonna comment.
And with that being said,
I think I'll refrain.
yeah. With that
You
being said,
will refrain.
I guess we'll move on to the second bit. It's the most interesting thing. I guess like for me, the pick-a-brick stuff was interesting, but let's be honest, the Halo trilogy possibly coming to Steam. A little bit of background on this. People from NeoGAF discovered listings in the Steam database, and this is all like apparently a widely used way to garner info on upcoming releases, because developers have to put stuff into the Steam database in order to like get stuff approved to be released on Steam. It's a process, and people have found out how to view that, so there's really no way to defend against it. One person who was actually on NeoGAF, kind of like Frankie from 343 and David Ellis, I forget what exactly his name was or what game it was. I'll probably, well, no, I won't go through the trouble of finding out, but it was a game. It was in the Steam database. It was in this leak along with Halo, along with a bunch of other games, and you know, he basically said, well, I was hoping to do like a release trailer and a proper announcement, but you guys have outed me, so I may as well announce it is coming in March. Whatever game this was, I forget. So there obviously is some validity to the thing. And there obviously is validity in the first place because someone found a community hub on Steam. For those that know what that is, for Halo 3. LJ, you use Steam. What's a community hub?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I use
The way they
Steam.
make it sounds like it's new. Not sure.
I use Steam so that I can play games, and that's it. Aside from that, I use Steam not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, community hub. That's a thing, and they found that for Halo 3, and then it was promptly taken down by Valve, which tells me there is at least some grain of truth to it, even if it's just an idea at this point, putting the Halo trilogy on Steam. It's obviously a plan, but the controversy, the reason why this is even like merit for discussion rather than just being, you know, cool, this may be happening, is because Frankie went on NeoGAF and denied it and said, I don't know what that's all about, we're not bringing our stuff to Steam. And people are like, well, that's that. He says no. But let's be honest, while that other person from that smaller development studio and that not as well known of a game may have come out and said, you know, we're doing this, 343 is under contract by Microsoft, who I doubt would be so forthcoming about ruining their plans, especially if my theory is correct, that that's going to be a centerpiece of this year's E3, as far as Halo goes. So I wouldn't rule it out yet, just because Frankie denies it. What are your thoughts, guy?
That'd be cool. Redundant for those who have it for the Xbox, but cool.
Yeah. That's the thing, literally the only... I'll be honest, having Halo 3 on Steam would be nice. It would be cool to have it on PC, because then that opens that game up to, you know, maybe they'll make a Halo 3 custom edition that's better than Forge, and people can make custom maps and we can download them, except they'll, you know, look good rather than CE. And lols can be had in the Halo 3 sandbox. But just for playing the game, yeah, it is kind of redundant. For Halo CE, it's 100% redundant because that game, you know, it is how it is. Putting it on PC isn't going to change that because it's already on PC. But for Halo 2, that's the big thing, because for those that don't know, I don't think we've mentioned it on the podcast, think it's actually on Valentine's Day. They're taking the Halo 2 servers offline for the PC. And they already took them down a long time ago for the original Xbox.
You see,
So-
Valentine's Day is supposed to be a day of pink things and loving things. Well, for a lot of poor unfortunate souls, losing Halo 2 on the computer will be the loss of love for many.
I remember the trials and tribulations it took to get me Halo 2. And after all of that, I've maybe played it 10 times, about 4 of which were successful lengthy play sessions with one person, VAR. So my Halo 2 life wasn't exactly lengthy, but if it gets released on Steam, maybe that would change. So that's what I'm holding out hope for. I'm just really in it for Halo 2.
Keep dreaming.
I will. What do you think about this mange?
Well, just because it's been added to a database, I can't say that it's gonna happen, because for all we know it could just be approved, but it's not gonna actually be added. But but I don't think there was ever a Halo 3 for the computer developed. That'd be very, very tough. I mean, I guess not now, considering all the high-end computers. But there was never any talk about developing it. It's a bit late since it was made.
But
it's been like 6 years since Halo 3 came out on the Xbox, so yeah, they'd be pretty late with releasing it on the computer now. Halo 2 Vista came out like maybe a couple years after Halo 2 for the Xbox. And
I think the thing they'd be running with, you do make a good point about it being a little late, but I think what they're going to be doing, it's not going to be like a full anniversary edition touch-up, because that's redundant. They're going to have the game's original multiplayer if it does happen. I'll bet money on it. But what they will do is probably fine-tune some things and, you know, revamp it a little bit and make it fresh so they can bring it on Steam. And it's going to be Halo 2's 10th anniversary. And I think now would be the perfect time, this year's E3. It's either that or they announce Halo 5. But I think the Halo trilogy on Steam plus Spartan Ops Season 2 would make for a good conference. Personally.
Yeah, well, okay, my last point was Halo 2 Vista, since it's losing its servers, I guess it would be a bit bonus, but at the same time it would actually might be like a point against it. Since the servers are going down, why would it be hosted again by Steam?
I guess it'd be less costly for them to have Steam host it rather than it be their thing.
I'm pretty sure it's player hosted. I'm pretty sure the problem is the listing of the servers. They're taking down like GameSpy or whatever, whoever's listing it, right, all the player servers right now.
If GameSpy goes down and CE Custom Edition goes down with it, I'll like be a broken soul. So I hope that doesn't happen, because my soul doesn't need to be broken. Thanks, but yeah, you're probably right. I guess we'll see at this year's E3.
Yes, I'm betting against it, you're betting for it, who knows? We'll have it.
What do you think?
My bets, it's not gonna happen.
Thank you.
I don't think it will. I think it's just hope for, rumor, accident. I don't know. I don't think that it will happen though. It seems kind of redundant and late. So I think they'd be better off putting in like Reach or something, but not Halo 3. I can't
I'll
see
say
that happening.
it's not to be current, but rather it's because see, it's not just the Halo games. It's an entire backlog of Microsoft's older titles. And I think with the launch of the new Xbox or the next box coming on the horizon, this is their way of like saying, it would not surprise me in the least if they literally said, we're not offering backwards compatibility for original Xbox games on the 720, so let's put a lot of our older titles on Steam, because Microsoft has been like looking to partner with Steam to do stuff for a while now, and I'm thinking
Or-
this is the result of that.
Something that sounds more likely to me is that they'll bring Steam to the Xbox. And they're
I
setting
doubt
up
it.
for that.
No,
I won't be
don't
surprised.
think so.
That
That's
is-
what the whole idea of having the big picture that they added to Steam was, so that you basically don't move to a console. You just use your computer on the TV.
the big picture. That thing that I don't
So
know what it is.
I'm pretty sure they're enemies. Well, not enemies, but they're competitors
Enemies.
for sure. Because that's why Microsoft has its whole games for Windows Live thing, and different games on that platform rather than Steam. It's
Yup.
just like some third-party companies use both.
Yeah.
So that's another point against adding all these Microsoft games, is that, you know, they wouldn't go again and give these games to their competitor to sell on their marketplace.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I just said they've been looking into making a partnership with Steam for quite a while now.
Hmm.
So I don't really think they're as much competitors anymore, rather than they're trying to like collaborate, so neither one takes away from the other. But whether that collaboration turns into like this whole debacle, I think we'll find out come E3.
Yeah.
With that being said, that is the end of the TTV Newscast. So I will see you guys next time for the next TTV episode in a couple days' time. Until then, I'm Mesonak.
I'm LJ.
I'm Tenebrae Invictus, and with us was Keeney for the
Yo,
moment.
before his internet completely died, and I think he said all of 2 words. I'm McKeatney. So, we will see you guys next time.
See ya.